Okay, so like we started off with muscle ups. You know, I was hoping I was gonna get 10 pounds for at least 3 reps, because last time I got it for two. But I was low key still fatigued from yesterday's chest day. Like my front delts were literally sore. I'm like, I still was gonna attempt to get, at least two, but obviously that didn't end up happening. And then like basically every other set involving weight after that, I just did terrible on. I'm like, muscle ups is just one of them things where either I do really good on or just bad. Like, I barely was able to get two body weight muscle ups by the end. Pull ups, low key, even though like my lower back and like upper back was still kind of sore from Saturday. Um, because I'm like, I deadlifted that day. I deadlifted like for the first time in a while, and I'm like, I ended up still getting 95 for two. And then on the second set, I ended up getting 90 for two. I'm like, honestly, I don't think in terms of lats, you don't really, like, I don't do anything besides weighted pull ups for them because it's been doing good. I'm like, I used to do 3 sets of weighted pull ups, but I do two, 2 sets, and then now I just do body weight to, failure. And I'm like, I ended up getting 17 body weight pull ups, but, yeah, I'm like, I'm gonna be repping 100 pounds on Thursday. I don't usually do barbell rows, but I was like, I'm gonna try it today. I'm super inconsistent with this, exercise, so I can't really do too much weight on it. But I'm like, I can still do 135 for a few reps. I ended up doing 7 in total, but I'm like, I probably will buy some straps because I'm like, my grip low key is selling me. Like, if my grip was a little stronger, I would be able to get more reps. But I'm like, yeah. So I ended up stopping at 7 because my grip was low key giving out. But yeah. On this second set, I ended up doing 130 for the same amount of reps as the first set, seven reps. But I'm like, I definitely could have probably pushed this a little more because I'm like, the weight low key was not that heavy. Like even though I don't train barbell rows, it still wasn't that heavy. And I'm like, I don't know. It just like I said, my grip is just like really bad. Like I train forearms, not super consistent. Like I definitely should train them consistently, but my grip definitely is like a limiting factor on this movement. And then I ended up doing cable rows. I'm like, I usually do this with one arm, single arm cable rows, but I'm like, I kind of was just like, I was trying to do a different machine, so I kind of only ended up doing this because I was like, just trying to pass the time because I'm like, this isn't normally on my back and biceps day. On at least on the first day. On the second day, I do have it, but I did 10 reps with like 100. I ended up doing 110 on this first set. Uh, I definitely am lacking in rear delts because I'm like, I like every other area of my back is pretty strong. Like rear delts is one of them things I literally didn't train for like the first 3 months of actually lifting. Like I feel like that's bad, especially because like it makes a good like a decent difference in your back when you're actually posing and stuff. But I'm like, yeah, this second set ended up just dropping down to 100. Um, I did end up doing more off camera. Those pull ups from earlier, like they fatigued me so bad I had to drop down to 40s for reps. Like before, like I don't know, like in terms of like curls, like my biceps are low key like terrible because I'm like I was repping 50s for three, and then out of nowhere, like I just like lost strength. Like I had to go back down to 45s, and I was like repping those for only 6 reps. But I'm like, the pull ups I did earlier today, like they fatigued me so bad. Like if I would have attempted the 45s, that would have been like either a 1 rep max, even though like that's not my true 1 rep max on curls. But I was like super fatigued. I'm like, I used to start off with curls, um, but you know, I stopped progressing as much on my back because when I was doing that, so I switched back to back then biceps. But yeah, okay, this second set, I could have definitely went and grabbed the 37.5s, but I kind of didn't feel like, kind of didn't feel like going all the way across the gym just to do that. So I was just gonna like, you know, just crank these out to failure. I'm like, pretty much every exercise I do, I usually go to failure. Like, it's only a few times I actually ever just stop doing the, you know, exercise. But I'm like, yeah, I ended up cranking this out for some reps. I'm like, I was gonna like lean the seat back a little more and do those type of curls. I forgot what those are called, but uh, yeah, I'm like, I really don't have too many bicep movements. Like I used to do easy bar curls, but I kind of just don't care to progress on that. I'm like, I know somebody said do cable curls. I guess those are really good because of the tension, but yeah, I don't really care. I'm like hammer curls. I'm like it kind of seems like I'm ego lifting here, but I'm like I said, like those pull ups like I did from earlier that fatigued me so bad, bro. Like I literally like I had to drop so much weight. Like I can normally you know crank out 50s for like 6 clean reps, you know, not fatigued. But I'm like I was super fatigued, so that was not happening at all. And then you know I dropped down to the 30s to get some, you know, better volume in and like controlled reps. I was gonna do another set, but honestly, I don't think I needed it because I'm like I usually see progress regardless of like you know how many sets I end up doing. Like even with that first set, I would have probably made some good progress. I know that was like terrible form, but I'm like, no, actually, no. I probably wouldn't have made as much progress I wanted. If I would have did like just straight 30s for control reps, I would definitely have gotten stronger. You know, pretty good. Um, I ended up doing some like wrist curls. I'm like I said, my forearms, my grip strength is literally selling me like really bad on so many exercises. I felt like the pump was pretty good. You know, I do wish my back was a little more dense, like so it looks, you know, thicker. Like I have a strong back, I would say, but I definitely think like in terms of like actual mass, like I don't really like I don't want to have a super bulky back. I want to have like a really lean aesthetic back to where like you can see all my muscles. Like I'm like skinny strong basically. And then yeah, the you know bicep pumps and stuff like I had to record this at home because I was on a time crunch, but yeah, that was the lift.